It's Ellie.
And it's Liv. Next.
Restart that. Everything is happening.
What?
When?
Now.
Right now.
Ugh.
Cheers. Welcome to our 10th episode. It's a huge milestone for us, and it's also Liv's 25th birthday.
Yay.
So cheers to
Cheers
that.
to this milestone a day.
So when we were thinking about your birthday, we were like, what do you even get someone who's turning 25? Like, what is the gift of choice? Weird age to pick out a gift for someone.
I agree. I mean, I think we're at the age where, like, useful household items are a really good gift.
I feel like you have everything that you need.
I think that's when you start elevating, like, getting them, like, a nice blanket that's, like, $100 that you would never buy by yourself, or, like, a really nice pillow.
Like, high-quality household items that you wouldn't purchase on your own.
Yeah, or, like, I have a KitchenAid, and I really want the pasta attachment.
I wish I would have known that.
I know. You almost need to have, like, a lifetime registry.
We actually had a plan where I asked you this question last week, but we rescheduled. And I was going to bring it up on the podcast so we knew exactly what you wanted.
Think about what we got Grace. What's it called?
A Ninja Creamy.
A Ninja Creamy.
We ended up getting you
I love my
really
gifts.
cool camera that prints out, and then like a little junk journal.
Yeah.
For your trip to Europe, which you're going on in one day.
Which I leave for tomorrow. So
That is so exciting.
year 25 is starting out with lots of exciting memories, moments. Honestly, I thought today would be a little bit more depressing. This whole day I've just been really happy and feeling like so loved by everyone in my life that I'm not even worried about being 25. I'm like excited for this next chapter, which sounds really weird because most birthdays I'm like dreading getting older, but this one has just made me realize like how many people I have in my life that love me, and it's such like a heartwarming feeling. I'm like, oh my god, I love my friends, I love my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think you need that to really mentally cope with the age of 25.
I'm not stressed, dude.
I'm kind of stressed because think about the difference between 24 and 25. Just seems so drastic, and then from here on out it only gets worse.
Well, no, I don't think it gets worse.
Do you want to know what my friend said to me? We are right now, as far away as COVID was, is how close we are to being 30.
Oh. I mean, I wasn't really nervous before, and now that kind of made me really stressed out.
Just ruined her birthday.
Yeah, dude. Why did you have to say that? Oh
That's
my god.
what I said when I heard it too.
COVID feels like a long time ago, but I remember it so vividly.
I know.
But a lot has happened since then. But think about this, Ellie. 10 years ago, we were 15. We were sophomores in high school. Think about how long ago that feels.
True. In 10 years, we'll be 35.
I hope we're still recording this podcast.
No, want to know what I was thinking that was super cute is no matter where this podcast goes or who listens to it, it'll always be something super fun to look back on when 10 years from now, 20 years from now, how we thought the world was when we were 24.
I mean, it's just like a digital footprint, and I think it either could be really good or really bad. If I have kids and they're 16 and they're like hacking my Snapchat and seeing what I was doing in 2016, like that's so weird.
My mom will always hand me her phone like open, and no one
Stop.
can have my phone open ever.
But your kids are going to be smart, Ellie. They're going to be able to figure out your password.
You know how we're like, oh, people who are old don't understand technology, and that's going to be us with like deep AI.
No. Our kids are going to be like, oh, you don't know how to do this prompt on ChatGPT? It would save you, like, so much time. I can't believe you don't know how to do it.
Oh, my God. That's going to be so weird.
Yeah. I mean, I get why parents just don't care. It's like, you've already lived your life. Like, why do you need to learn? Like, it's like
anything else.
You're like, whatever, I'm chilling.
Trying to show my grandma how to find this podcast was, like, the most difficult thing in the world. I wonder if she figured it out. Nana, if you're listening, props to you.
Wait,
you did it.
Shout out Nana.
Dude, honestly,
I believe it.
This intro has segued perfectly into both my in and out, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'll start with my in per usual. And my in is graduation parties because it's graduation season right now. And it just reminded me of grad party season in your prime as a senior in high school and how lit that was.
That's the shit.
You literally had like unlimited meals to choose from for 3 weeks straight, and like, everything from drinks to food to desserts to appetizers. And remember the days, like, it was like a Saturday.
You would have like 3 in a row.
You can just bop around and drive around with all your friends. And then it got me thinking a little bit. You have this huge celebration for your high school graduation where you invite everyone you've ever known. My whole entire extended family's coming. My friends are coming. Bryn's friends are coming. Like, everyone in our life is coming.
I wish I was home so I could come.
I know. This is like the biggest thing. And then college graduation happens, and that's a pretty big thing. You celebrate that. And then after that, you actually start the real world, which is really, really hard, and you need celebrations more than ever. But you need to get married or have a baby in order to have a huge celebration.
This actually segues into my out. My out is not having a themed party. For example, we celebrated my 25th birthday with a giant murder mystery soiree, and it was the most fun I've had in my entire life. We ordered all these decorations. We had ChatGPT come up with a murder mystery prompt with characters that were aligned to certain people's personalities. We had a full mystery, everyone dressed up. We had some random characters like enter the chat, and shout out Sammy Slink. And it was the most fun party of my life. We had like an activity to do. Everyone got to chat and mingle, and it was the best night of my life. Did you have fun? Well, Ellie got murdered.
I got killed, but it was a great time. It was super fun. I think you always should have a theme party too, like milestone parties.
Yeah, I guess like when you're a baby, you have a lot of milestone parties in the womb, and you're like a baby shower.
I want a milestone for me getting my first job offer.
Or like buying your first house.
Yeah,
like that
right?
seems more like a milestone than graduating high school.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's super exciting and fun, and it's like you getting into the real world, but why does it have to end after you actually become an adult?
Me setting up my 401k after like 2 days of research.
My Roth IRA party. Literally, then everyone gets so busy. Like, you're not coming to my birthday.
Completed my taxes by myself without calling my parents' party.
Like, everyone gets so busy, but everyone will like make time for the high school graduation party.
I think it's because the high school graduation parties are planned by parents, so you just like
they're
show up and like it's just easy. Versus like at our age, like you said, everyone's so busy that if you are gonna like do this thing, you really have to plan it yourself. And like, for example, the murder mystery, I was up like till midnight the night before preparing, but my friend was up till 5 a.m. the night before preparing. Like, that's just not really sustainable if you want to celebrate
your Roth IRA.
Yeah, but I do agree there should be more celebrations of like the little things in life,
right?
Because that's what makes life fun, is like celebrating the random ass funny stuff.
We need to like create more milestones. My in isn't even grad parties. My in is milestone parties.
And you know what? That being said, we're celebrating episode 10 because this is a huge milestone for us. I don't know if I didn't know we were going to make it to episode 10.
I wasn't sure either.
But here we are.
We've put in a lot of work.
More work to be done, and
we do need to be making more reels. That is our goal for our second era of the podcast.
Yeah. It's so funny because Ellie and I will like put hours and hours and hours into recording this, setting up, and then actually doing the editing, only for it to live on Spotify, and then no one knows it's there.
I am just so proud of us.
A 10 from Len.
I guess you can't have parties all the time because then that doesn't make it as special. So I understand.
I kind of disagree with that, because I think there's different like levels of a party. Because you could like my Roth IRA party, I wouldn't be inviting like 50 people. I guess, yeah. I would probably just be like inviting like my 3 besties, and we'd probably just be like having a bottle of wine. Like everyone loves like a good housewarming party. Like when you move into your new house that you bought, like I'll
have a housewarming party. What's your in, birthday girl?
Actually, no, this is ironic. My in's my frontal lobe because it's in my head now. It's there.
Wait, is it true that it takes women and men different periods of time for their frontal lobe to develop? Men's frontal lobes develop at age like 30.
I haven't heard that fact, but I would not be surprised if it were true based on the men I know in my life. No more information other than that.
The frontal lobe especially the prefrontal cortex, generally isn't fully developed until around the age of 25. Some studies suggest it can continue to develop slightly later in some men, perhaps even into their early 30s.
Damn. Well,
Makes sense.
that makes me feel a lot better because I just have this gut feeling that I like to say, like, my man is marinating. I feel like his frontal lobe and emotional intelligence and maturity, like, isn't fully at my standards yet. So that's why we haven't met, because we'll meet when he's got that.
He's marinating.
He's marinating in emotional maturity juice.
Yeah.
That was weird. Anyway, what I was going to say was back to, like, the frontal lobe conversation. I feel like I have been noticing my brain working differently in, like, a good way. Like, me and my friend Lizzie have been doing a lot of activities that we used to do when we were kids. Like, we played soccer again, and I just remember when I was growing up, my mental state when I was playing soccer was like, oh, you should have got that ball. Oh, like, you're letting down the team, like, so negative. And then when I was playing with a group of friends, I was, like, just laughing about everything. And I was like, wait, like, my frontal lobe is making things, like, not as serious as they needed to be. I don't know if that's actually what happens during the frontal lobe development, but whatever's happening is my brain is getting better.
Yeah, I guess the good thing about growing up is I feel like people still care a lot about what you're doing and like where your life is at, but I feel
I guess
like
you're right. Yeah.
around age 30, people kind of stop caring and the pressure's off. You can do whatever you want.
I guess actually, yeah, I was just at like the retirement party and I was a little anxious because I was like, what am I going to talk to these people about? Like, I have no life updates. Like, it's really nice when you're in college and you can be like, yeah, I'm going into my junior year. I'm studying XYZ, like, yada, yada, yada. Like, you have these talking points versus like now it's like, yeah, I'm still at the same job. Yep, I still live in Chicago. Yep, I still have the same friends.
Yeah, when I finally get a change, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I can't wait to talk about this to everyone because it's something new.
I was thinking about like how weird humans are. Like, a lot of us just like don't know how to talk normally.
This actually segues really good into my out.
Okay.
I was watching old home videos of myself when I was like 3 years old. And it's just me and Bryn like playing with our toys. And in our house in the background, it's like the square box TV.
Oh my
and
God.
like
The VCR.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. We grew up playing like the same one computer game over and over and over because that's all we had.
Yeah.
And we watched PBS Kids and...
Do you remember Caillou?
Yep, I do.
Do you remember Arthur?
Yeah, I do like Arthur. But I was thinking about how we were like the last generation to grow up with like paper and toys and not much technology, and then the kids like 10 years younger than us grew up with like iPads and iPhones, and now they have apps to play.
It makes sense why those kids like can't just like sit alone with their thoughts. They're in constant need of entertainment. And my kids aren't gonna have that. And I actually saw something. These parents, they like had a TV in their living room and they ended up like getting rid of it because they noticed that their baby, who was like 6 months old, was seeing them watch the TV, and then they would watch the TV. Because it's like you pick up on habits of the people around you. So
That's so scary.
I know. I feel like when I have a kid, like, it's going to also like help me to reduce my reliance on screens because I want to just like be more present.
Yeah.
Or if I do need to go on my phone and like answer texts, like I have a designated time to do that, which is kind of what I already do. Like, I'm really bad about like texting throughout the day. I tend to like have like a specific time if I'm like on the bus or if I'm like waiting for my plane at the airport. Like, that's when I go through all my texts and respond to things that I haven't answered yet.
Yeah. I feel like I spend all day on my computer and phone, like all the time.
Does it stress you out?
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of things to try to take away from that. Like, I completed a whole 1,000-piece puzzle yesterday.
I love puzzles.
I found it for free at my boyfriend's neighbor's house, and it was Landmarks of the World, and I literally did it for 6 hours and finished it.
What was the best landmark?
I really liked the Paris one.
Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
Cute.
I was thinking about how babies grew up with technology. Every single place that I look on any social media platform, there's some form of artificial intelligence. and it's starting to really freak me out. Like Snapchat, you know how you can see your past memories? Now there's just a picture of me every single day that's artificially created in some sort of setting.
Based on your memories?
I don't know how they're like making that.
That's creepy.
And it's the first thing that shows up every single day.
They're using all of your data from your Snapchat memories.
I even can look through my like past year memories. And so I keep dismissing it, but there's no way to take it away. And even on like Google or email or anything, it's like the summary of this email is that this happened. And I don't even know when this all started happening. I was slowly realizing that every single aspect of social media or technology has a form of AI now, and it's really starting to scare me on how it's going to be in the future. So my out is AI because it's freaking me out. And then I was imagining kids growing up with so much artificial intelligence that they can't even tell what's real or what's not.
I mean, that's happening today. Like, you see an image on Twitter and you can't tell if it was produced by AI or if it actually happened. Like, someone could stage you probably in like a robbery, and like, how are we supposed to know if it was real or not?
Right?
I saw that Zara and H&M are using like AI models, literally creating a person using AI and putting them in clothes and using that on like their magazines or using that on their website. And they save a lot of money because they don't have to hire like a physical person. But it's also like, then they can like create this person into any form, they can make literally anyone look any certain way. And so it's like, what's that going to do to beauty standards too? I mean, the beauty standards already are kind of fucked, but
yeah. And just imagining creepy people utilizing AI makes me sick because they can do whatever they want and create whatever they want. And because it's so new, there's no restrictions on it, and it's all just coming about so quick that I'm scared.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary, but one, I think there's things that you can do to limit how much data AI models are taking from you. Like, stop using Snapchat or stop using certain forms of social media. I think it just depends on like how scared you actually are and like what you're going to do about it. Yeah. But I also think that there's a lot of good that comes from it, like with early cancer diagnoses or like early screenings, like at least from like a health perspective, like there are positives.
Yeah, and I do love ChatGPT.
I called my friend and she was planning my murder mystery party, and I go, oh, like, how's it going? She's like, we're doing great. I was like, who's we? She's like, me and Chat. I was like, you and Chat as in like ChatGPT? She's like, yeah, we have like a really good thing going. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, me and my ChatGPT are close.
That scares me.
Like, I use it so often just for work purposes. So when I don't like something, I'll be like, no. And they'll be like, I know that you weren't going to accept that. Like, you want to make it a bit more fun, fresh, and new.
And you're like, well, then why'd you give me the first response, Chat?
Right? I'm like, Chat, then what's going on? And he's like, I'm not. He or she or whoever.
It.
And
I'm having a bad day.
It's like, I know. I was a bit off earlier. My best thing I've ever done using ChatGPT was create a Love Island episode using all of our friends' names.
That was weird. It was like way
so
too accurate, though. That was what was weird. It was way too accurate.
And I made like 3 different episodes. Speaking of which, Love Island starts tomorrow, so I'm really happy about that.
I'm so pumped. It kind of sucks. I feel like all the good shows start in the summer, and that's when I don't want to be watching TV because I want to be outside. Why don't these air in like I feel like the horrible months are like January through May. Like, air then.
There wasn't really a show I tuned in regularly to.
Yeah. So I was watching Secret Life of Mormon Wives, but I don't know when that came out. I was catching up.
Is that show good?
It was not what I expected. They've got a lot of crazy, weird shit happen to them. You just gotta experience it for yourself, I think. I did something really stupid at my brother's graduation. Basically, on Saturday, we were just playing a ton of yard games. We were playing bags, and then we were playing this yard game that my mom's obsessed with called Cube. You, like, basically throw a wooden square and try to knock over the other team's wooden squares. And so for, like, 3 hours, I was doing this movement, right? And this underhand movement. And we go to my brother's frat, like, barbecue cookout. I had one drink. I, like, wasn't even drunk. And I saw a glass bottle on the ground. I was like, oh no, someone's gonna, like, step on that and it's gonna be bad. So I take it and I toss it into the trash can, miss the trash can, and it shatters in broad daylight. And all the parents and all the guys are like, who just broke that bottle? And they were assuming it was, like, some drunk frat member. No, it was me. And I was like, I was so embarrassed. I, like, went to clean it up and I was like, why did I just do that? And my brother was like, how were you doing this all day and still missed the trash can? Like, you were practicing all day.
You probably had way more might than you thought you did.
And, like, the fact that I was literally just trying to do a good thing and, like, clean up the yard, and then I just made it worse and more dangerous for everyone.
Have you ever purposely smashed a glass bottle?
Oh, the bottle game where you, like, try to shoot the bottle? I'm so excited because I actually love the fair, but Chicago doesn't have, like, a fair.
Right?
Like, you know how Minnesota has, like, the state fair and it's, like, right outside the city limits? Like, I feel like Chicago should have a fair where you can play all these games and, like, there's music.
In Minnesota, there's Valley Fair, too. So there's double fairs.
Double fair. I've never been. Is that where you ride roller coasters?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, like, roller coasters kind of freak me out because they were made by engineers and you just don't know how smart those engineers were.
If you theoretically think about how many times it runs per day and how many days it's been running for its entire existence, the odds are very slim.
Well, I think it's the same concept with, like, an airplane.
Yeah.
You just gotta risk it for the biscuit.
You can't spend your life being scared.
My mom actually gave me a really good quote. I don't know if she, like, came up with this herself, but she said, feel the fear and do it anyway. Because, like, fear is just this abstract concept. So you can feel it. Like, that's fun. Like, acknowledge the fear, but, like, do it.
You should make that your background instead of...
Oh, my God. Ellie always just gives me shit because I make my phone background these inspirational quotes. I guess they stress some people out. But for me, I was like, I had my background be, you are always one decision away from a completely different life. And that really stressed Ellie out. But to me, like, I was, like, really miserable at work. And, like, so that gave me, like, a sense of hope. Like, if you're in a dark place, you're always one decision from getting out of that. Like, I could have quit at any moment and had a different life. Like, that's where that was stemming from. Not like, oh, you're always one decision away from a different life. And, like, if you do something wrong, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, for me, I just see that as... what if I've made a wrong decision that I'm going to regret and then overthinking every decision I've ever made, and that's not going to lead me to where I want to be. So yeah. I guess I saw it in a totally different light.
That makes sense. I feel like my one right now, my background is like, yeah, it's going to take a long time. Yeah, it's going to take hard work, but, like, what the fuck were you planning to do anyway?
That's better than you're one decision away from a totally different life.
Yeah, it's a step better. Sometimes it stresses me out.
Like, what if you, like, went to the gym and fell in the treadmill? Like, you shouldn't have gone to the gym that day because you hurt yourself.
You're saying, like, you're always one decision away from a completely different life. Why did you make that decision?
Bethany Hamilton going surfing
and then getting her arm bitten off. But if that didn't happen, she would have never had a movie about her. She would have...
I mean, she probably didn't care about the movie about her. I guess she inspired thousands of people.
Yeah, to keep doing what they love despite setbacks.
Dude, the clip of her doing one-arm push-ups gives me full body chills every time.
I've never seen that.
It's in the movie.
Oh. Do you think she actually... But do you think the real Bethany Hamilton does that?
Yes.
Damn.
She's very strong. She has to pull herself up on that surfboard with one arm.
Oh, true. She paddles with one arm.
Her arm's got to be super strong.
Jacked. Wow, I didn't think about, like, surfing with one arm. That's got to be really tough. And, oh my God, she probably is the perfect example of, like, feel the fear and do it anyway. She was probably so afraid to go back into the water and probably so scared. She felt the fear, but she still did it anyway.
Okay, I'm watching that movie tonight.
Yeah, confirmed. Do you think people who have the same sign have similarities? Like, do you believe in that?
Yes.
Apparently, everyone hates Geminis.
Famous Geminis.
Kanye.
Angelina Jolie, Natalie Portman, Heidi Klum, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, Marilyn Monroe, Blake Shelton.
Oh.
Idina Menzel, Morgan Freeman. If you think about the groups of people that all fall within those categories, like especially on a personal level, I can find similarities amongst all of them. I have a notes chart that I've had for like 7 or 8 years, and anytime I hear someone's birthday, I put it into that notes chart, and then I have it sorted by zodiac sign, so I know what each of my friends are and who is sorted into what group, and it weirdly makes sense. I don't know, it's interesting. It's something like funny to pay attention to. And
when I met my ex-boyfriend, he goes, I'm a Cancer on the cusp of Leo.
What?
I was like, damn, you know your shit.
I still don't really understand. I just have my chart.
I do. It's like wait, what is it? Rising, moon, and sun?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to explain this so poorly, but one of them is like where when you're born, this is how the sun is. Your rising, I think, is like how you come across to people. So like if I didn't know you, I'd be like, oh, I think Ellie is an Aquarius. So it's how you like present yourself. And then the other one is how you truly are in the your inside. Moon? Yeah, I think your moon is like who you truly are deep down, like. And that's then all crazy. 3 of those help predict like certain things about you.
Have you ever put yourself and the person you had a crush on into the compatibility?
And we didn't end up together.
I always love looking that up.
I'm just never going to do that ever again because then it actually manifested into not working out.
I would make boys make a co-star account just so I could look up the specific compatibility.
Okay, if there's one app that you would want like a boy to have, what would it be? I think mine would be Goodreads.
Co-star.
Strava.
What's Strava?
Strava's like if you go on a run, it tracks your run, but then you can like see all your friends. Like it pops up. It's
John
like
Summit's on that.
Yeah, it's like Corey ran a 10-mile run at this pace, like, and it shows you like a map of where they went, so you can like congratulate your friends. But like, I feel like if you're like trying, or if a guy's like trying to impress you, if like you're trying to impress a guy, you'd be like, add me on Strava. Actually, I have no idea if that's true, but like, I'd be curious to know like, can they run fast?
This is actually an app I made my boyfriend get. Because sometimes we struggle finding a movie choice that we both will like because we have very different tastes. Like, I like comedy and romance, and he likes scary movies and action or thrillers. Ooh. Or something very complex. So I found this app. It's basically like Hinge for random movies, and you like swipe, and then you go until you both like swiped
a movie on
the same one, and that's the one you want.
And does it add like a list for you? Like if you're like, oh, Ellie swiped right on that as well, then you're like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then we would go through, and that's how we would pick movies.
Wait,
but
that's actually smart.
the movies were a little bit random.
I feel like we've talked about a lot, but I think it'd be good to hear from our listeners, like, what do you want to see on season 2? I've actually gotten some feedback from friends, and they're like, you should bring on guest speakers, which I think we could definitely do, since I feel like season 1 you got to know us pretty well. Might as well introduce some new characters into the mix. Mm-hmm.
See, my biggest pet peeve is people who ask about the podcast and ask if they can be on it, but they haven't listened to all the episodes.
It's so funny because the person we're talking about is never going to know this is out there.
Nope.
Because he doesn't listen to the podcast.
But he asks every single time I see him. So, yep, you're never going to be on.
Nope.
But if you tell us if you tell us that you heard this, then yes, you can be on.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and season 1, and time to eat our cake and celebrate this milestone moment. We love you guys.
Love you. To everyone who's made it through the first season, thank you so much.
You're a real one. And we'll see you when season 2 kicks off. Bye.